Welcome back, and today we're going to be doing primary back stretch. This is the main signature T-tap move. It is a move you can do all by itself, whenever, all day, a couple, but at least make sure you do it, especially when you first get up in the morning and before you do any of the other moves in T-tap, because it's really designed to open your body up, to put you in good positioning and alignment, and to really warm up that back. So let's begin. We're going to start right where we started with getting ourselves into the stance. So let's begin. Feet 4 fingers apart. Bend those knees, tailbone, pull it down. Stretch up with the ribs. Now you might notice that I do this a lot. I put my hands here and I press down to get my ribs up. It's also a great fascia stretch. So I highly recommend doing it. Let me just take a moment to kind of detail what I'm doing with this. I'm putting my hands right here at the groin with my thumb there, fingers around. So I like to inhale, put my hands and really push into the leg, press down against the leg, and see how high you can get that rib cage. Then I'm going to lift my fingers. I'm still pushing my thumb in and up. I'm going to hunch the shoulders. So now I'm using it to lift the ribs, hunching the shoulders. Then I'm going to take my fingers around to the back. Why? Because watch, my shoulders come around to the back. And then I'm going to drop my shoulders lower, but push in and press down to keep the ribs in. And as I bring my elbows in, woo, you are going to get some heat and shaking and all kinds of activation, and then just release. Now, one of the places that you're going to hear us talk a lot about, and you're going to feel it a lot, is activating your lats. You are going to learn to love your lats. What are lats? It's the latissimus dorsi muscles, and those muscles are very big muscles. And they go from like all the way here, all the way up and around. And this, if you're looking to burn back fat and really create a big spinal girdle and increase your metabolic rate, it's all about lifting ribs and activating your lats. That's the secret. So you've just learned the big secret. Time to leave. No, stay around. We're going to do it and really learn how to get that activation as much as possible. So back again. I know repetition, thank goodness, is what is it? It's how we learn. You're going to hear it a lot. Bend the knees, tailbone down. I'm going to put my hands here. I'm going to use it for some leverage to lift my ribs up and back. I'm going to shift back into my heels. I'm going to do my turnout, hip, knee, ankle. I'm going to squeeze my glutes. I'm going to say hand away, hand away. That's how I say it, with into a mitten hand, stretch down. I didn't mention the head before, did I? Your head positioning is really important. So here's what I want you to think about. Drop your chin slightly, not all the way, just a little bit lower, and then pull it back towards your spine, and then feel like you're lifting from the top back of your head. So that way, the head's right in alignment too. And right here, you are ready to rock. So I like to start primary back stretch with a clap away. This is what that means. You're stretched up here. Now we're going to go into a bear claw, pulling those knuckles back, stretching the thumbs, taking the thumbs and rolling all the way back. Now as you do this, feel your shoulders roll back, then bend just a little bit deeper, tuck your tail more, and begin to bend so those elbows and wrists are either in a straight line or the wrists are slightly below the elbows. And think, elbows to the front of your body, taking that wrist and twisting it back, or we say thumbs back. It's the same concept. Here you are in alignment. Now, you're going to keep the elbows in, but I want you to bring the fingers forward, touching your fingertips, and press to get the ribs up. It's like using it for leverage. Now, palms go to the ceiling. Give me another bear claw. Keep the elbows in close and pull back, getting the chest forward. So you're going to feel all kinds of activation in here. All right. Hey, did you shift your weight forward? Shift your weight back. Notice how the tail drops. Here we go. We're going to do 4 claps in this position, keeping the elbows in. So just fingertip touch, press back. We call this a clap, but really, you're just touching the fingertips and back. Give me one more. Fingertip touch, pull back. I bet you're ready to come out of this for a second. I know you have to be because I am. So come out, shake, do some little kicks across. All right, now we're going to proceed for the next part of primary back stretch. Here we go. Feet bend the knees, tailbone down, ribs are up, we're shifting back, toes lift, we're externally rotating and squeezing the glutes. Now we're going to take those hands in a mitten. We're going to bring them right here to the top. I'm going to turn around because I want you to see what's happening with the arms, okay? So most people, when we come here, tend to go to the center of the body. Not quite sure why, but that's just what we do. Instead, here you have your mitten hands. I want you to come to the top here, but notice how I'm over. I'm just taking my pinky side of my palms in, and I'm going to start to slide my hands down on the side. Now notice, watch my shoulders as I do this. As I'm lowering that, my shoulders are dropping, and I'm going to take my fingers this low, where my big finger is at the bottom of my tush. Then I'm going to push in, press down, and use it for leverage to lift the ribs. Then I'm going to think elbows to the center of the body. Now, the reason I like to go low is, notice what happens if I'm up here. My shoulders have to hike up. This does not feel good. If I'm here, my shoulder and elbow and wrist aren't in alignment. My elbow's too far in. So what we're trying to do is take it down, press back, so you get as much lat activation as possible in alignment. So that's where we're going to be. Pressing, notice you can see my thumbs to the side. Watch yourself in a mirror. If you're like this, you'll know you're too far to the center of the body. You want to be out like this, pressing down to get the ribs up, elbows back. Feel how that opens you up so much in your chest. Now, up till now, we've been tucked under, but now we're going to untuck. I'm going to go to the side so you can see that. So right now I'm tucked under, elbows back. Now I'm going to untuck. Good. So with that tailbone, here's a curl under, here's an untuck. We're untucking to come here. It's a nice pelvic release. Now, there's different ways, places, and distance that you can do your primary back stretch in, okay? The very first videos that we did, we went all the way down to a complete flat back position where the shoulder and the hips are in alignment, straight line. I'm really arching that tail up. My thigh bones are out. Here's what a rounded back looks like. If you're like this, can you see it's not good? That's not good for your back. And it's really important you understand how to go into a flat back, which is arching the tail up. Now, if you have a really long torso, I know it's going to feel very odd. You're going to feel like you're about to fall forward, but you won't be. Just arch that tail up. You're going to get a nice hamstring curl. Now, I'm going to come up a little bit. And if you're down there with me playing, go ahead and put your hands mid-thigh, push down and come up a little bit. So you always protect your back and knees. Notice how my knees are out. So if you have the hamstring flexibility to go all the way down where your shoulder and your hips are in alignment, beautiful. So many of us don't. We're not in that place yet. So instead, you're only going to go down just a little bit. You're going to get the same results. Let's just do that now. I'm going to come back, slide down rib cage, elbows back. I'm going to untuck. My knees are out. And I'm just going to come over a little bit, just to about here. I'm going to go to the side so you can see what little bit looks like to me. Okay, just a little bit. Sometimes I'll tell people come up a little higher, elbows, because you can really get good lat activation on this. So that's where we're going to be, wherever it's good for you in terms of your hamstring flexibility. All right, so now, once we're in this position, here's the next part. Now, I'm just going to caution you. This part is one of the weirdest parts of the whole workout to really explain and get. So if you're not quite sure what we're doing here, don't worry about it. Just do the best you can. The longer you do it, the more it'll start to come to you. All right, so in this position, you can keep your hands here. This is a visual for you. Our knees are both out like this and bent, right? So you're going to take one leg at a time, and in it, you're going to think about rotating that leg out in order to straighten it just to wherever you can, but notice both knees are out. And also, when you do it, you want to try to not shift the upper body out like this. So it's very specific. You keep the shoulders there. Your tail is up. I'm just going to say try to straighten this leg out as much as you can, but see, nothing else is moved. Both knees are out, and then you rebend both of them. Now I'm going to push to get my ribs up. I'm going to bring my elbows in. Now I'm going to try the other leg. I'm going to try to straighten it, but notice I'm still turning it out, and then bend. And then push into your hips, press down, get the ribs up again, and elbows. Let's try the other leg. We do it 2 times each leg. So now we're going to try to straighten, 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 and bend. Press to get the ribs up. One more time, other side. You ready? Straighten, 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 and bend. Nice. Now, that's this next part, and then we're going to go into the last part of primary. But before I do, here's what I want you to notice, because if you're watching yourself in a mirror, this is what I want you to look for. Notice if I try to straighten this leg, but I don't turn it out, see how the knee rolls into the center? You're going to notice, and you might even want to try it just to see how that feels. It won't feel nearly as good. So if you let that knee roll in, just a lot of people just like, I just want to straighten it. But if you just straighten it, the knee will tend to roll in, and then you're not going to get equal activation at the hip, okay? No, you won't hurt yourself, but you won't get as good a result possibly as if you really think about turning them both out and bend, turning them both out and bend. All right, so that's the next part of primary back stretch. Once we do that 2 times, I'm going to bring us back into this position. We're going to go into the next part of it. So again, we're pressing down, elbows, tailbone, come on over. So much to think about. Now, we're bent here. Can you see this? I'm going to go to the side. In this bent position, my knees are right about the edges of my toes, okay? So for the next part of this, we say shift back. That means shift back. You're kind of straightening the legs, but you're not straightening them this way. You're shifting your weight back. Then from there, go ahead and take your hands. Here's your thumbs, here's your fingers, around the top of the leg. So the thumbs are going to go inside the leg and the fingers are going to grab onto the outside. Here's my kneecap. I'm going to slide them up just a little bit from my knee. Okay, and at this point, just for explanation, just allow yourself to hang there, like kind of a neutral. I'm in like a bit of a neutral spine right here. Nice. Make sure your feet are in alignment and your knees are out. From here, here's the next part. You're going to take those hands, push down into the leg. Okay, so you're pushing down, and with the power of that push down, you're going to start to curl that lower back under. So really almost thinking like you have a tail. Pull the tail through your legs. You should not feel this in your glutes. This is all belly and back. So you're pushing down, curling under. Now allow the knees to bend deeper, and you're straightening the upper body down as you're pushing down. You're coming until those arms are straight. Can you see what I'm doing here? So I'm really pulling my belly in and up, curling the tail. Chin can be tucked, so we have a big capital C. Now you've already grabbed onto that leg. Now, instead of pushing down when you get here, grabbing on, pull up. Now as I pull up, watch my ribs lift. Thumbs are on the inside, kind of pulling those legs out to the side, and I'm going to come down with what we call a scoop, or you're arching the tail out. Nice. Shift back. Let's do it one more time. You're going to push down into the leg and curl the tail under, bending deeper, straightening the upper body, pulling the belly button in and up. Thumbs are on the inside, so they're keeping those knees out to your little toe. You're grabbing on again, you're pulling up, and lift your chest as you do it. Then arch your tail. Then bend those elbows to bring your upper body down just a little bit. You got it. Let's do one last time. Shift back, push down and curl. Knees bend deeper, chin tucks in, belly rolls in and up. Now release those legs. Release them with the hands. Draw your arms all the way up. Now you're tucking your chin with this point. When your bicep hits your ears, stretch it out there. Now hook your thumbs. I'm going to come right to here. You can hook your thumbs and take your pointer fingers and press the fingers together. And you're going to reach those arms forward. We call this like a dive. Doesn't that look like a dive? So just making sure your belly button's in and up, your knees are out, you're reaching forward, try to pull the thumbs apart. That is one heck of a big stretch. Now release those thumbs. Put the hands back at the same place with your thumbs inside, your fingers outside. Pull up, arch out. With the thumbs, take it to the side and give me a nice bend here. Beautiful. Now we're going to go to the last part. You're holding your weight here with the upper body. You're just holding yourself here. Allow yourself to hang all the way over. Shake that neck tension out. Take your hands down to about mid-calf in a mitten hand. So a nice mitten hand presses in. You're stretching your thumbs. Allow the elbows to hang to the front of your body. You're using the hand. You're pushing into the calf. And then press the calf into the hand and roll your shoulders away from the ears. Nice. Now you're just going to lift the head and just let the head drop. It's very gentle. By the way, shift back into your heels here and turn out at the hip, knee, and ankle. One more time. Lifting the head, letting it just drop. Push into the calf. Lift the head and let it drop. Let's curl up. You're going to keep pushing into the calf and start to roll up. When your arms are straight, pause. Notice how I'm tucking under when I do it. Release the calf. Flip your palms so that the palms are facing forward. Give me a big jazz hand now. And the pinky is going to draw a line all the way up the side of your leg. Now notice, I have my knees bent. I'm actually going to bend a little deeper here, and I'm going to draw this line. I'm going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. As I come up, my elbows will go back. Now my pinky is right at my hip ball joint. I'm going to push that pinky in there and press down to come all the way up. My chin is tucked, and now I'm lifting from the top of my head. Nice, ribs are up. Let's just draw the arms down to here. Good. Now, with your thumbs, you're going to twist back. Notice, where are my elbows? They're in close, aren't they, in front? Just give yourself some nice little shoulder rolls here. Hunch the shoulders. Roll the wrists back to get the shoulder blades back and down. One more time. Bring them up. Back and down. And guess what? You have just finished primary back stretch. Don't you feel good? Hopefully you feel the heat coming up. You might notice a lot of opening in your chest. You opened up in the hips. Great move. And once you know it, it just takes a couple of minutes to do, and it's going to set you up for the whole day. All right, I'll see you on the next video where we're going to do arm pumps and neck stretches.